I could say that one more time, I'll bet.
One more time.
Hello, I'm Clark Farley.
And I'm Denise Pizarro, and we are coming to you live. Well, we're not really coming to you live from the office, but we are from Randall Realtors in Westerly, Rhode Island. We invite you to spend a little time as we share our insights and experiences, tips and tactics acquired over quite a few years. Our goal, help you become a better buyer and a skilled seller.
And since Denise is so much into full disclosure and such, she is live from Westerly. I am, in fact, live from the office of Randall Realtors in Westerly, Rhode Island at 241 Post Road. Denise always does an excellent intro to give you an overview, and then I follow it with some kind of comment about change in the real estate business practices, actually, as opposed to the business. So I'll do a little bit of that because we're doing a lot of changing of late. If you've been with us since the beginning, you'll notice some changes tonight will be kind of fun. We're doing a whole bunch of things differently, but it still, all of what we're doing, these 20-minute briefings, they're all about adjusting what we normally do as agents to the 21st century. We're online, and we have a COVID thing that got us to realize we couldn't do a lot of the things in person. So this is our attempt to act like real estate agents, right?
Right.
Okay.
So some of the things Clark's talking about being online, we are on YouTube. Some of you may be watching us there because we're live on YouTube right now as well. If you're there, please subscribe. We're also on Facebook, obviously, Facebook Live, and Instagram, where we do a weekly, where in South County are we?
You got it right.
And, yes, I did. And check that out, because if you're anywhere from the area, there will be some landmarks you might recognize, and you can let us know what you think those are. I have a question for everyone who's watching right now. Clark and I have a disagreement on what our background should be. So tell me if you like what you're seeing now, or you can mention it in the comments, or if you prefer this one, or if you prefer this. So it would be, one would be the two of us nice and large. Two would be this background, and this one would be the other one, the beach, the blue, or Clark and I a little bit bigger. Oh, looks like we got some comments. Clark, what are they saying?
Those actually, that's, oh, there's Emma there. Emma likes the wood. Well, she helped us with that whole display thing, and good taste does show. So we'll put you down for one, Emma. Martha Jean, and who else is in? Phyllis. They weighed in. They gave us a sound check, which such has been our struggle with technology.
Yes.
I do appreciate the sound check to begin with, because that was something that we struggle with, but we might be past it. I don't want to jinx us or anything like that. The backdrop, so people are liking did you show them the plain one?
The plain blue?
Oh,
yeah.
Are you talking about whether we are equal or?
Well, this one is just us.
This just in.
And this one is the beach one.
Yeah.
And then we also have the plain blue. Those are the three.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's pose the question to our viewers.
Looks like you got more comments. Phyllis is saying she likes both.
Okay, safe.
I like the style. I can hear you well. That's also Phyllis. So that's all we got. Emma and Phyllis likes them both. So she likes 2 out of 3. She doesn't say which 2.
This has more of the newscasty thing. That has more of a on the scene.
I think this is warmer.
Is this warm?
Anyway, we need to get going with this program.
Okay, thanks for the input as always.
And don't forget, you can make more comments. Clark's keeping an eye on the comments, supposedly.
Oh, we have somebody saying Manny likes the wood frame background. That's Emma's background. We'll call it the Emma background. We have somebody saying, I like just you. Oh, you mean not just me personally, but
this one.
Because there's actually show them the other little that one.
That one.
We're
Okay, we need to get on with the show. We're already 5 minutes in.
but we
So
do have. So we will come back to that, but we always do remind viewers that the briefings are always about real estate. Some weeks we're going to focus on the trials and tribulations sellers face. Other weeks it's about buyer experience.
And some weeks both. So this week we are talking about sellers, and the topic this week is what, Clark?
The topic this week is the top 10 do's and don'ts for sellers in almost any market, which is
right.
Wait till you see this coming up, but we do have
we are going to start now with the top 10. So
are we jumping over the other thing? No, I wasn't quite ready, but
I already talked about all that other stuff.
Well, actually, let me do a quick disclaimer because
we need to move along.
I see we have 15 minutes.
All right, hurry up, please.
The quick disclaimer is simply for anybody outside of our market area is that we're experiencing an extreme seller's market. But the only point I wanted to make is that sellers' markets historically turn into buyers' markets. What we do is all about the principles of buyers look to get the most value for their money, sellers look to get the greatest return on their investment. So all of what we're doing here is related to that, except in this case, this week, as Denise rightly pointed out, I have to hurry up. So number 10, you want to do number 10?
Number 10, don't forget to do the dinner dishes. Make the beds before every showing. Prepare the house.
Now, a large part of what we do are personal experiences, and I'll offer one that I had to be 15 years ago, showing a house, nice house, 2,600 square foot colonial, and I was doing a fairly formal showing, and I backed into the kitchen, and they were liking the house up until that point, and we look at the counter space that surrounds the sink, and they looked down, and there's like suds and dishes and things like icebergs in the water, and it didn't kill the showing. We slowed it down. So
you definitely want to have the house ready for people coming in. That's all. You just do. And making the beds and doing the dishes is the minimum amount that you can do for that. Empty the trash, that kind of thing.
And we had a brief discussion about you can control that as a seller, is working with your agent to make sure that you have enough time to prepare it. And you might even, as you go onto the market, have the family, such as it is, just develop a plan for what to do before showing, and it gets kind of automatic.
Right. And as a seller, you have a right to say, we're not ready. We just can't do a showing today. And that's okay. So, I mean, once you've scheduled it, it isn't right to cancel it at the last minute, but you can, obviously, if someone calls up and you're not going to be ready for a showing, you just say, this isn't convenient for us at this time. So number 9 is make sure every light has a working bulb, the brightest that is suitable to the fixture.
And I added a little note about health and safety, because you do want that on basement stairs and all, but brighter is better when it comes to showings. All of us in the business will always strive to have every light in the house on before we even walk the people in. So make sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the basement is in the attic are very important as well. I can't tell you how many times I'm down in the basement. I can't find the light switch. I'm trying to find the pull cord, and I end up having to use my phone to even find a light switch. So, and then you flip it and the bulbs aren't working. So, your basement's really important for people to see. So you definitely want to make sure you have nice, good lighting down there, and that it's accessible, and that your agent knows how to turn it on.
I've had those houses where I've gone ahead and practiced, because you don't want to do that, because, we always talk about first impressions on the first showing, but it's about how smoothly it goes too.
Right. And the other thing too is another problem is when you get to an inspection period, if the lights aren't working, there's no way for the inspector to tell if there's electricity working. So it's good to have all your light bulbs functioning and bright. Number 8, Clark.
Oh, we had number 8 already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, she's setting me up for this. Don't forget, when it comes to impressing the buyers that are looking at your house, less is more. And we mentioned the theory of 3 is your friend when it comes to items. Now, on a normal night, we would have enough time, but my exposition on theory of 3 goes into 15 minutes. Basic idea is clear off all the flat surfaces that you can, which means starting, of course, with the kitchen countertops. You leave 1 or 2 things there, but the rest of the stuff put it in the cabinet. Bookcases, bureaus, the same kind of thing. You want less items, and Denise talks a lot about pictures and things on the walls. Whatever you can do to minimize the things so that
it's about distraction. It's about distraction. Yeah. You don't want the buyers to be distracted by your stuff or your family photos. I mean, people come in and they try to figure out if they know who lives there. So it's best not just to eliminate the distractions, and Clark believes no more than 3 things on any flat surface. Yeah. So that's briefly his theory of 3.
I have a good reason for that, but we don't have the time for it.
Yeah. Number 7.
Go ahead.
Pretend every showing is to your in-laws in disguise.
Not you, the agent, but the in-laws.
Yes.
And that's simply to put the mindset of getting the house ready as in as practical a manner as possible, but just everything's just so, because again, people aren't buying your furniture or anything like that, but a distraction is a distraction, and you want them free to like the house.
Well, I think the other thing too is that when you have maybe something broken or damaged or dirty, people start looking for more. Yeah. They start looking for where else aren't they taking care of this. So you want to do the best you can. If your in-laws were coming over and the toilet seat was wobbly, you probably would tighten it. So those kind of things are the things you want to just walk around as if, company that you want to impress is coming over, and you do want to impress the buyers.
Yes, you do.
Number 6.
And number 6 is don't overprice your house. And we'll leave it at that. Because you'll have a team, and we didn't get to talk about seller teams, but the lead of your team is your agent, and they'll say, hey, let's not overprice the house. You do way more harm than you would imagine to getting the most for your house.
Definitely.
Right to 5.
Number 5, when you get the first offer, do pretend it's a good offer. This is known in the business as working the offer.
And that's where my brief disclaimer about current markets notwithstanding, you get an offer, you work it, which just means do your best to negotiate what you want out of it. Very often it doesn't work, but working it is just that. You don't want to waste an offer because the buyers are trying to buy your house and you're trying to sell your house, and it's all about meeting in the middle.
Plus, in the time of HGTV, especially in the past market, they were telling people low ball offers, this stuff. So sometimes people are still of that mentality, and sometimes they're just throwing it out there to see if you'll bite. And when you come back with a reasonable counter offer, more often than not, they come back.
Well, in a sense, that gives them cover, because usually it's Uncle Harold who says, hey, kids, I'll tell you how to buy a house. You're going to offer them 25% under asking because you'd be stupid.
Right.
And so you give them a workable counter offer. Don't get mad because it's not a personal thing. But then they have the cover with Uncle Harold and said, okay. And as Denise just said, you'd be surprised at how often people will step back up to where they probably wanted to be in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So number 4, don't forget the outside of your house. No matter the season, help the house welcome the buyer. That's what curb appeal is. So, if it's fall, get the leaves raked. If it's winter, make sure that the paths are cleared with snow. If the dog came by and pulled all the trash out, get it cleaned up before the showing.
Christmas lights probably aren't as effective in July as they are in December.
Exactly.
Unless you can do some kind of a spinner thing and make it like a 4th of July, a predominant red.
Mhm. Well, people do change the colors now instead of changing the lights.
Yeah.
Number 3, do listen to your agent. You hired them for their knowledge and experience. Take advantage of them.
Yeah, that's what they're there. That's what we're there for, And we had a discussion about good agents earlier in the week, and you've presumably picked a good agent, which just means somebody you're confident in and are willing to trust. And it's all about experience and putting things in context for you, and also to keep that edge off that item. Which one was it? Number 5, about you get a low ball offer. Human nature says, "Hey, screw this," and get mad, and that's just not helpful.
Yeah.
Your agent.
And this is what we do day to day, and we've pretty much experienced just about every scenario that could possibly be. So, it's to your benefit to take advantage of our knowledge and experience. And number 2,
Don't
Clark?
overprice a listing. Now I'm going to try something technical. Don't overprice a listing. We practice that.
Okay.
We actually practice that because everything is
backwards. Because it's backwards.
But I personally like that whole conundrum of overpricing because common sense sometimes gets in the way, and we both have heard it a lot. Oh well, okay, I want to go for this big number because I can always negotiate it down, and that's the fallacy. Now we're talking crazy high, not just higher, a few percent high. The problem with crazy high asking prices is that the buyers are out there and they're learning the market real fast. If they see a house that should be 200 listed at 450, the conversation would be, okay, we'll put that on the second list. When they come down, maybe we'll see it then. So it's been shown statistically that overpricing, you end up with longer market times and actually less of a sales price.
And that's absolutely true. And I've had that happen to me where sellers have insisted we put a certain price on. And then when we finally do sell it, it's actually a lot less than what I told them we could sell it for.
Yeah.
And the original offers came in at what I said. So it does exactly what happens. Yeah. And it happens to everyone in our office. So I know that that's the truth. Anyway, number 1. Drum roll, please. You got a drum roll, Clark?
Yeah.
No, we haven't figured that out yet, right? Yeah. And number 1 is stress is not mandatory. Trust your seller's team. Your team goes beyond your real estate agent. It is also your attorney who will be handling the closing for you. And you want to be able to trust that we're doing our jobs, that we're informing you and educating you. And we have experienced enough that we can handle minimizing the amount of stress that you need to feel.
And as you've seen over these briefings, is that we're all about that idea of anticipator. That's the experienced agent that Denise refers to, is anticipate where the stress is. We know where it's going to happen and prepare for it as best you can. It totally reduces it. And that team building thing, we talk a lot to buyers about that, but for sellers, an inspection ahead of time isn't that you're going to say, hey, I've had an inspection done, you don't need to do yours. What it does is it puts you as a seller in a better position negotiation-wise. You'll have a sense of cost of repairs and seriousness of repairs. So having that team, the inspector, the attorney, whoever else you might need, very much helps, very much helps.
Absolutely. So those are the top 10 do's and don'ts for sellers. And we hope you liked our new little way of doing some creative things here. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I think we'll be seeing that some more.
So don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, watch us on Facebook. We don't have to post our live broadcast anymore on YouTube because they automatically are there. So you can see all of our past broadcast on YouTube, even the ones the audio wasn't quite right. We will be doing this separate screen for the next couple of weeks. And at some point in time, we'll get back in the same room together. So let us know what you think about it.
Yeah.
And also the background. Remember, this is the beachy background. This is the Clark and Denise background. And this one is blue background or normal background. So I guess we have this one too, which I absolutely don't like. So I'm offering it up, but I really don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it that much, but this is part of the interactivity that is kind of cool about live stuff, is that as soon as I learn to type good, I'll be able to respond to comments. But I do appreciate everybody, Martha Jean, Randy, Phyllis, and Emma, and everybody else for giving us that kind of feedback. It totally helps. And also, Denise likes contests. We haven't worked it out yet, but we're going to have a contest where if you send this link to somebody in Idaho and they show up, big prize.
Clark, we're over 20 minutes.
No. You wish to say goodbye and click that button?
I wish to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again. Oh, by the way, we're going to be on Wednesday next week, right?
Good thing you said it. Yes, we're back
Yes,
to
Wednesday next week at 5:30. We're going back to Wednesdays. So we'll see you next Wednesday at 5:30. Bye-bye.
See ya.